let's see, the sort of sequel to Knocked Up is the sort of family romantic comedy type movie for the holiday season. Hello there to everyone watching, and thank you once again for tuning into both ReelScreenReviews.com and the YouTube channel We Live Film. I am movie critic Nick Iacobucci, and our next movie review is for the movie This Is 40. I'm happily joined here by my guest critic, the lovely Debbie DeAngelo, and she will be telling us about it in just a moment. The movie opened right around Christmas, and it stars Paul Rudd, Leslie Mann, the Apatow daughters, as well as Albert Brooks and John Lithgow. This film comes to us from Judd Apatow, the father of the two girls that I just said, and the husband of Leslie Mann, the lady that's the star of this. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to my guest critic to tell us a little bit about This Is 40.
In This Is 40, Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann are married with 2 children and facing kind of your typical family, financial, parenting struggles,
Correct.
All while approaching the fated 40. And I think this is supposed to be kind of a comical idea of what life at this stage is like.
Right. Well,
I didn't think they pulled it off, I'll tell you that right off.
Really? Right off the bat, you didn't like this movie?
You know what? It had a lot of funny parts. I said a lot of laugh out loud funny parts, but to me it was an example of how this is not a sum of its parts. Like, you had so many laugh out loud funny parts, you'd think it'd be a good movie. But I didn't feel like they pulled it together.
I think I wrote in my notes a lot of Saturday Night Live skits. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Is that like you know, I felt the same way. I liked this movie. I'm not going to say that I didn't. It's really funny. The people in it are not only very funny, they're very realistic. You can identify with this family. But in my opinion, they threw everything but the kitchen sink at you with this film. It's only about 25 minutes shorter than Les Mis, and Les Mis is this grand, sweeping epic, and this is a movie about a family in the suburbs.
And you said Les Mis, and I agreed, was kind of depressing. Mm-hmm. To me, in its own way, this was kind of depressing. It's a kind of depressing look at life, and although I laughed. I mean, what a paradox there. I laughed a lot in this movie. The
outrageousness, I think, of like when they go on that weekend getaway, or when his wife, Leslie Mann, is giving Megan Fox she's inspecting her breasts.
Yeah, right.
And when he makes her look at the hemorrhoid thing. I mean, the outrageousness
and
of
the
this
characters.
movie. Yeah.
The characters, like, but it was like so much over the top. Like, okay, her father-in-law,
and then his
was some kind of
too.
Loser. Yeah, kind of a loser with triplets that are younger than their children. And then her father was an absentee father, and then her business isn't doing so well, and his business isn't doing so well, and they might lose the home. And is anything going to go right?
And then there was a problem with one of the mothers at school.
Yes.
And then there was there was just so many things that were going on in this film.
It was chaotic.
And I kept saying to myself, I remember looking at watching, like, there is an hour left in this film, and it's like, you know, if you're going to make a romantic comedy, or not even, I wouldn't even call this a romantic comedy, if you're just going to make a straight comedy, in my opinion, you got about an hour and 45 minutes to tell your tale. You start getting into the 2 hour, especially 2 hour and 15 minutes, you're getting in way over your head on this one, and I think that's where this film suffers really more than anything.
Well, like you said, it was like a lot of comedic skits, and you will like it, you will laugh, but I think the point they were trying to get at, from a relationship point of view, was once you've been together a long time, sometimes things that really attracted you to that person annoy the hell out of you at a certain point. And I think that's where, like, a lot of people who've been married or in a relationship can relate to that. But at times that even was so far over the top, I thought, are these two going to get divorced?
And I agree with what you're saying. I will say, though, that I thought that the movie had enough true moments of them as a family working that I was at least... I liked these people, and I liked watching the story. So I think the movie's great. No, I don't think this movie's great, but I do think that it's at least a journey worth taking. But I think it would be better if you were taking that journey on your couch at home and not in a movie theater with previews. Yeah. You're going on to like 2 hours and 45 minutes.
And there were a couple scenes in that movie that I was a little uncomfortable with in the movie theater. Like, who's sitting next to me?
It was definitely very rated R. I thought, I didn't know what to expect going in. I guess I wasn't expecting that much of it being over the top. But once again, that didn't really bother me as much as it just shocked me. That
I was going to say it was a little shocking.
Yeah,
One scene in particular that I know that we're both thinking of was shocking.
It was funny, though. It was really funny, though, actually. Okay, well, how many hearts are you going to give This Is 40?
Unfortunately, just 2.
Really? I'm going to say that I think I liked it a little bit more than you, but once again, I didn't think that this was a great film. I'm going to say 2.5.
But if Megan Fox's boobs weren't in it, you'd probably dock it a couple stars.
I will say this. Is she the greatest actress? No. She's really
gorgeous.
Wow, just something to look at. I mean, she is just amazingly beautiful, and every time, like, I've seen her in The Dictator recently, and now this movie, and she's like, wow. I guess I don't know what else to say. Well, I'm going to give Megan Fox.
That took it up a notch.
I'm going to give Megan Fox 4 stars, but I'm only going to give This Is 40 2.5 stars out of 4.
Oh, we're pretty close.
Yeah, we're pretty close on this one. I like I said, I think it's an enjoyable film. I wouldn't say that I would ever deter somebody from watching it, but I would say make sure you don't have anything to do that night, because you're in for the long haul with this one. And once again, I think the length completely
And don't let your kids watch it with you.
No, absolutely not. Even though the director's children were in it, don't let your kids watch it, at least until they're a little bit older. Well, Debbie, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you going out of your way and reviewing This Is 40. And I would say, well, this one, you're on the fence on this one, whether you should go see it or not. With 2 hearts out of 4 and 2.5 stars out of 4, this one's going to be your call at home, whether or not you want to watch This Is 40.
It's better than going to the dentist.
That's true. That's true. And remember, people, we're not always right, but only when it comes to the movies. And thank you for your attention.